Hello everyone! Today we're going to be getting back our orange painted paper and we're going to be using a bumpy pumpkin tracer to cut out a very large, very bumpy pumpkin. We want to trace it on the back of our paper. And so I'm going to pull mine down a little bit towards the bottom because I want to leave room to draw a stem. When you follow a tracer, you're putting your pencil up really close to the edge and creeping your other hand around to hold the tracer flat as you go around the whole shape. Once you've traced the pumpkin, you might need to rewrite your name so it fits inside the pumpkin. And then we're going to add on a stem onto ours. So that's just coming up from the sides and drawing a line across. Okay, now we're going to cut out our pumpkin and we're going to make sure that our stem comes off with it. So when we use our scissors, you are putting your thumb in the small hole, your fingers go in the big one, sometimes 3 fit. For Mrs. Belzer, 2 is going to fit better. And then you open, close, and your thumb always points up to the sky. So to cut my pumpkin, I'm going to start from one side, opening and closing my scissors, and with my other hand, I'm kind of turning the paper as I go. And my paper is still wet, so I'm having to cut very careful. Your paper will be much easier to cut. Now remember, we want to include our stem, so I'm going to turn and make sure I'm getting my stem, turning my pumpkin as I go, cut down the other side of the stem, opening, closing, using the other hand to help turn the paper. When you get to the bumpy part, just try to follow the bumps carefully. You might have to slow way down to get those cut. There we go. And your pumpkin should come out as one big piece. And then the extra scraps are going to go in the recycling. And now we will need a placemat. There we go. Now I have my placemat. And I'm going to use another tool to create the dots to make our pumpkins look like Yayo Kasuma's pumpkins. This tool is called a bingo dauber. So a bingo dauber is like a paint marker. And when we use this, we want to make sure that we have a placemat and a smock. To begin with the bingo dauber, you want to make sure that you use it like a regular marker. It does look like it's a squeezy tube, but you do not want to squeeze this. You want to just draw with it. So one thing I want to do is I'm going to trace around the outside of my pumpkin with my marker, and you can see it makes a very wet black line. You want to try not to get it on your fingers. Now this part, if you remember our tracer, it had a bump right there. So I'm going to bring my bingo marker down, make a bump, and then connect. And if you see, there's lines right here that we're going to draw. So this one's going to curve this way. The other one's going to curve that way. Now I can trace my stem. And now I'm going to add the dots. So if you remember, Yayo Kasuma had bigger dots down the middle and then smaller dots down the edge. And again, we're not pressing hard, it's just gentle. So to do the bigger dot, you can see I'm kind of curving it around in a circle to get a bigger dot. And then for the smaller ones, I just lift and press onto my final side. And finishing up. For the stem, you can decorate it however you want. I might just add a little bit more black on it and leave my stem black, but you could put dots on it, yours if you want to. When you're done, it's important to always twist the cap back on the bingo daubers, return that to Mrs. Belzer, and then take your whole pumpkin on its placemat and put it on the drying rack.